Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we're here.
We're live.
Again, we are live, guys. Today is a very, very first time that we're doing a business spotlight. And for those of you that don't know, or for those of you that weren't following, during the Mardi Gras fundraiser, we reached out to local businesses. For those that donated, we were able to put together a business spotlight. And so thank you, Joseph, for donating.
Absolutely.
Our goal for the Mardi Gras fundraiser for PATH was $2,500. We were able to reach that goal and got just under $3,400 total. And so that was able to go to help fund the pantry at PATH. So appreciate you guys doing that. And there's other businesses that donated. We're going to be doing a business spotlight with them here pretty soon. But the goal of today, and Joseph, is really just to kind of get the viewers familiar with ASAP and yourself. Now, a lot of people know ASAP. I have a big following, but every now and then you come across some people that don't know.
Yep, absolutely.
And so we want to reach out to them. And so for those of you that don't know you, for those of you that aren't familiar with you, just tell them a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do, how this whole thing even got started.
Okay. I'm Joseph Kozel. I am the owner of ASAP Roofing and Construction and ASAP Solar here in East Texas. We opened up in 2015, so 9 years now in business. We're excited to hit the 10-year mark next year as well. That's a big accomplishment in business, I think. So pretty excited about that. But we're all over East Texas. We have offices in Palestine, Longview, Nacogdoches, Texarkana, College Station. So we're pretty widespread, cover a pretty big area, and so it's been a fun ride. Definitely been a great time since 2015.
Yeah, man, that's so key that you hit on the 10-year mark, because so many business, and we work with small business owners, and we were just talking to a business coach yesterday who says that a huge percentage of businesses never make it past the first 2 or 3 years.
Oh yeah, I think it gets smaller and smaller every milestone you hit, and I mean especially in the construction and the roofing industry in particular. Like 98% of roofing companies go out of business before they hit that 10-year mark. It's a pretty significant portion of them that don't ever make it there.
Well, man, congratulations on that. And for those of you that are just joining us, for those of you that are watching us, hey, hit that little share button. Hit that little share button. We want to be able to get as many people familiar with not just ASAP, but the businesses that are around, to help them grow and to help them really attract new clients. Because recently, I mean, what's the big talk about right now in East Texas?
Yeah, obviously we had that big hailstorm on Super Bowl Sunday. Obviously a lot of work involved with that. It also brings out, the good and the bad in the industry.
Just like everything. And so I think a lot of people kind of became familiar with that when a bunch of companies, I think every company within a 200-mile radius was here. I mean, I talked to an adjuster yesterday, and he was meeting guys from Austin, San Antonio, like Oklahoma, and, they're here to make a quick buck, and then they're going to be gone, and then the warranty on the roof is going to be basically just a piece of paper, because they're not here to stay. They're not a local company. There's plenty of reputable local companies. Even if you don't choose us, which is not a problem, choose someone reputable, someone local, someone that's been in business for a little while, that has good reviews, has insurance to protect you and themselves. And of course, if someone's, I think it gets talked about a lot with reputable companies about, insurance claims and deductibles, but by law you're supposed to pay it. And someone that's willing to break the law is also willing to cut corners on your home. And most people, their home is their most valuable asset. So do you really want someone that's willing to cut corners on your home and put something subpar on there? So just a few things to look out for when you're in a scenario like this. Yeah, absolutely. And great. Glad you brought that up, because there's so many people that, hey, well, this guy can't get to me. Mm-hmm. They're so backed up. Well, this guy from out of town will do. I would rather, as a business owner, as a consumer, I would rather wait for the right person than to go with the wrong one, because that little bit of time that you could wait could cost you
in the long run. Yep. Yeah. There's a saying something like, the satisfaction of a cheap job doesn't last as long as the regret after it goes bad, or something like that. And that's pretty much what happens most of the time.
We recently shared, one of the biggest reasons for failure is that people trade what they want most for what they want now.
And so not just in business, but in life too, right? We do a lot of that type of training and coaching for salespeople and business owners. But Joseph, kind of along those lines, how did you even get started in the roofing business?
Well, I have to give credit to my sister and my brother-in-law, obviously, Clint and Leanne. I was still in California at the time, and I had graduated from San Diego State University, and I graduated with a business management degree, and the job market was really tough. The cost of living was extremely high, and it was just getting harder and harder to live out there. And so, they offered me an opportunity to come out to East Texas and partner with them on a roofing business. And I actually turned them down at first. And then it took a whole nother year of struggling in California and, just getting myself beat up by employers, not getting jobs. And finally I was like, you know what, I'm ready for a change. And that's when it happened. It was in early 2015 is when I moved out to East Texas, and we started this business a few months after that.
Could you even imagine doing anything else?
Now, no. I mean, I enjoy, being a business owner and providing opportunities to people. Now, I can imagine owning other businesses, but not working a normal job anymore. I mean, I get too much satisfaction from working with our people and seeing them grow. And that's something we've always kind of said about our business, is that we're a roofing company, but we're really a self-development company that just happens to have our avenue through roofing. And that's just how we provide a living for people, but we're really a self-development company. You kind of saw that early this morning, when you got here, but we really care about making ourselves better and growth in all areas. And that's, that's why you and your training is great. And you've come in and spoke to our people before, and we do that pretty often where we have different people come in and speak to our guys and ladies and kind of just instill, different things about how to grow and better yourself.
Yeah, that's what I love about ASAP, and really Joseph and even Leanne and Clint, is that you really are. I think you nailed it right on the head. You are a self-development and personal growth company, cleverly disguised as a roofing and solar company, because really you're only limited to the amount of that you're willing to train and develop your entry level employees.
Yep.
And so many people, right? It's the old discussion between the CFO and the CEO. They're like, hey,
we can't afford to train our people. And then he says, no, we can't afford not to train our people. I know exactly what
he says, what if we train them and they leave? And then the other guy says, what if we don't train them and they stay?
Yeah, it's a much bigger problem. Yeah.
So again, not to bring up the negative, but everybody has those negative people in their offices and in their businesses. And a lot of times it's that bad bad apple that ruins the whole thing. So be careful. And I'm glad that you guys are willing to invest in your people, invest in your company, and then give back like you did with Path and a lot of the things. And I love how you guys have this whole office set up, which is conducive to growth. I mean, even just the stuff that you see on your walls in the room upstairs. And so that's what I love about partnering with people like you, Joseph, and ASAP. There's another thing. So whenever you are looking for people to help and for people to serve, what is it that you guys look for, and how can the people that don't know you and that are in need of a roof or want to get a second opinion, how can they get a hold of you? How can they contact you?
I mean, we'll help anyone that needs help, but our ideal client is the person that really wants it done right, because we're not going to cut corners. We're not going to put cheap materials on. We're not going to, one of the questions we get a lot is, will you do a layover on my roof? And we just refuse to do things like that. Our entry level shingle is an impact resistant shingle that we install, and people ask us if we can install a cheaper one, and then we just won't, we don't lower our standards to gain customers. Our standards are our standards. And if you want that higher level, then that's who we really want to do business with. But we also find people that just need help, and which is why we have a full repair division to help people that don't need a new roof. They can just get repairs done. So that's really kind of our ideal person, is anyone that just really wants a job done right the first time and doesn't want headaches in the long run. And we're not perfect. We have issues come up, but it's the way we respond to issues, and we come out and fix them, and we stand behind our word and our work. So that's kind of our ideal person. How you reach us, you can call us at the office, 903-363-9160, or you can go onto our website. It's asaproofing.com. Really, really simple. We've got a couple different forms you can fill out there. You can fill out a contact form for us to contact you, or you can actually fill out something that gives you an instant estimate on your roof, and it's it's like a ballpark, but you can put in your address, your square footage, and it'll tell you your roof will be anywhere from $10,000 to $12,000, and it gives you a nice little kind of rough estimate, so you know what you're getting into.
Gotcha. Just an idea.
Yep. Exactly.
Good deal. Now, I've also heard, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys provide some other services that other guys don't.
Yeah. So we do solar. So a lot of companies are starting to do solar. I think one thing that differentiates us from most, and I can't speak for everyone. I'm not saying everyone doesn't do this, but our guys that install our solar are in-house. They work here. Their office is here. If they're going out to install the solar, we know them. They work with us on a daily basis, so we're not hiring subs out of Houston, San Antonio, Dallas, which a lot of the other companies are just selling for a large national corporation. We do everything in-house on our solar installs, so I think that's a big thing that differentiates us, from others. And then obviously we do most things that go along with roofing, fascia, siding, kind of all those trades that are hand in hand with roofing.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those of you that are just joining us, thank you guys for joining us. If you want to go ahead and share this on your page, and we're trying to do a business spotlight for local businesses, and ASAP was the one that we were able to get, and this is Joseph. And so a lot of times what we do is we're just trying to help every business grow, right? Mr. Ziegler, the gentleman that I train under, Tom Ziegler, his son, they basically had this overarching theme or overarching quote over their whole career. And it said that you can have, you, me, us, we can have everything in life we want.
If you help enough.
If you help enough other people get what they want. And it sounds like you found a really good niche to be able to help people with their roofing. Now, tell me a little bit about this deal, because I saw you on one of your Facebook pages or one of your Facebook posts that you guys come out and do tarping in an emergency.
Yep. Yeah. So like even after that hailstorm, it was Super Bowl Sunday. On the weekends, I'll tend to forward the office phones to my line just so I can answer if people have an emergency, which a lot of people don't do. They'll have an answering service for the weekend, and I try to help people that they have emergencies. But that's just a prime example. The hail was so big that people had broken skylights and things, and we had guys out by 9 o'clock in the morning tarping skylights, getting people dried in so that there was no interior damage caused to their home. So we do a lot of emergency services like that, and we don't charge it to the customer. We wait for the insurance to come out and cover it, so it doesn't, we're not coming out tarping the roof and saying, hey, you owe me $750 right now. We kind of just hold off and leave it to the insurance to take care of.
Yeah, and that's part of those people that are willing to go above and beyond and exceed people's expectations of what a roofing company does.
Yeah.
Right. And so that speaks a lot to the person, speaks a lot to the culture. Mm-hmm. And I love, when I pulled up, you guys are doing it really, really awesome. So another thing, now, where are you guys? I guess the location doesn't really matter because you come to mm-hmm. them, right? Mm-hmm. But is there anything that you guys ever do here besides the training development?
Well, we have, and you saw it when you came in today, we have a huge conference room. There's over 50, I think it's 55 chairs in there with desks, projector screens. And so we have a lot of people come host events here, mostly real estate agents, and they'll do continuing education courses here. But we've allowed a lot of people to come utilize our conference room, and we don't charge for it as long as the day is open. There's nothing else booked in there. We provide a nice space for people to be able to utilize. A lot of people struggle with just a one-day event space or something where they want to host a training and they don't have somewhere to do it. So we have a lot of people come do that here. Obviously, most of our services, like you said, we go to them, but we have a nice little lounge area like this and a kitchen area and a gym like you saw this morning. So there's a lot.
I might have to start using that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome to come do it. So it's just, we have a lot of different things going on here. Absolutely.
Yeah. And when you really start to look at it, you really start to unfold and start to kind of peel back the layers of the onion mm-hmm. of what ASAP is. Because obviously we all know it as ASAP, right? As soon as possible. Mm-hmm. But is there anything that you guys have made it to, as far as your what's it called, your mission statement and your vision statement, and is that something that you can share, or what is your long-term goal for ASAP?
It's funny because we're going through a big training with all of our leaders right now, and I don't know if you've ever heard of Traction by Gino Wickman and his EOS model, but it's a model to run an organization by, and so we're doing a lot of training on that, and we've always had core values, and so we revamped some of those and changed some of our core focus. And I mean, really, our dedication, like we said, is strong communication for successful relationships is number one. We really strive on that, and we want to give back to the community. So there's dedication to family and community on there. Continual training for a knowledgeable staff and team, which is something we dedicate ourselves to. We do what we say we're going to do with a positive attitude. So just a few of our core values that we try to strive and live by. And I think one thing that kind of sets us apart from a lot of people is, when we're going through that, we realize that we take on and we solve a lot of the problems other people aren't willing to do. Like, we get a lot of jobs where other people just aren't willing to take them because there's a lot of logistics that go into handling them, and it's really, proved beneficial for us and our clientele. And you can see it because we've done 4 school roofs this year. We have 3 more lined up to do. Apartment complexes and like really difficult situations where there's a lot of logistics, a lot of safety that goes into it, and there's a reason why these schools keep coming back and trusting us to do their projects, because we're willing to go that extra mile to make sure things go right, and the planning and preparation that goes into it. And so I think that's a big thing, is solving complex problems really in all areas, and that's where it comes into training, not only in the business but in people's lives as well.
Oh, so key. I mean, earlier you mentioned it about doing it with a positive attitude, and Mr. Ziegler, the way we learned it was that it's we talked about it yesterday, was that it's your attitude, not your aptitude, that will determine your altitude. And so what's going to happen is that you do anything with the right attitude, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, life is 10% what happens to us and 90% how we respond to it. And so I'm curious, because earlier we opened this up with you fixing to be in the business 10 years. But what can other small business owners, what can other people that are looking to grow their business and be that entrepreneur, what are some of the things, or what are some of the challenges that you faced, and some of the ways that you were able to overcome that to get to this point? I mean, what can you teach them that will serve you well?
I mean, we've touched on it a lot, but there's a reason, because it's that important. People are your most valuable asset, and your business is going to live and die by the quality of your people. And so it kind of goes with, you said that conundrum of the CFO and the CEO on training. It's the more you invest in your people, the stronger they get, the stronger your business becomes. And so, yeah, it's a risk to spend that money to invest in them, but the rewards that come back to you because of doing it's innumerable. You can't really measure it, but it's extremely valuable. And I think it goes to tell that, I think 70-ish% of our staff right now has been here for 5 years or longer, which in a roofing company is, not very common. A lot of salespeople will come and go, but a lot of our sales reps are coming up on their 5-year anniversary. Almost everyone on our office staff has been here over 5 years. And I just think that's a testament to kind of what we've talked about, that we invest in our people, we value them. We reward them, we appreciate them, and I think they know that we truly appreciate everything they do, and that goes further than almost anything. So don't be afraid to invest in your people, is the biggest thing that I could probably recommend. And obviously there's been a lot of different things that have happened since we opened. I mean, obviously the unknown of COVID, obviously you can't skip over that we were in business through that. And a lot of people didn't know what was going to happen. There was a lot of fear, getting thrown around, and people were scared and not sure what was going to happen with the economy and the world in general. And at that time, I think that, one of the most beneficial things that we did was, we brought in different consultants that have been, had very successful businesses, have been in business a long time, have lived through recessions before and worked through recessions. And, when most people were drawing everything back, we paid them money to come teach us what to do. And so if there's ever a situation that you're just unsure of, or you not really have the expertise, I always recommend bringing in someone smarter than you. I'm not scared to say I'm not the smartest person in the room. I don't really want to be the smartest person in the room in every area. There's people in my business that are better at me than roofing, and there's people that are better at me than marketing, and people that are better at sales. I'm not the best at any given, item. And so bringing in people to consult you, to train you, that have more experience in any area, it is worth the investment to have someone, better than you in a certain area come in and train you. And I think that was one thing that really helped us, through that time, was being willing to have someone come out and show us, hey, this is what you need to do, not do, and kind of break things down for us.
Yeah. Oh, man. So for those of you that don't know, there's a gentleman named Warren Buffett out there. Mm-hmm. And Warren Buffett is a pretty, very well known that he's a good,
mildly successful,
somewhat, yeah. He's made a few good investments, right? But he said that the best investment, the one that has paid the hugest dividends, was an investment in himself.
Yep.
And that's what you did. You invested because you knew, right? You're not the smartest person in the room. That's why I love the quote from Mr. Ziegler that it's not your aptitude, but it's your attitude. Mm-hmm. So one of my great philosophers from, Floyd from the Dumb and Dumber, he said, so you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah. About 1 in a million. So you're saying there's a chance.
So, and that's the thing, guys. You just have to reach out because there's resources out there. Mm-hmm. I think it was Darren Hardy that said that right now in today's society, we are drowning in information, mm-hmm. but we are starving for wisdom.
Yeah.
And so when you reach out to someone that's been there, done that has lived through the recession, that has been able, you're able to garner and gain from their knowledge to be able to help you continue to grow and develop and hire new people, because those businesses are the ones that are going to attract the best employees. Mm-hmm. My coach, Tom Ziegler, basically wrote an entire book. Matter of fact, I brought it with me. And he basically said that the average employee, check this out, mm-hmm. the average employee would forego a sizable raise if the company would fire their manager. Mm-hmm. They would forego an employee. And so my gift to you for the Business Spotlight is this book right here from Tom Ziegler. It says the 10 leadership virtues for disruptive times.
Beautiful.
You think we've had a few disruptive times? Uh-huh. And so this book actually garnered him basically a very high honor, a very high award. And then I actually brought in the little book that gives you kind of the just on the go type
keynotes,
of stuff. Yeah. The highlights of, and so really that's what I love about giving back, right? Because another guy said that if you give, it's going to be given to you, mm-hmm. pressed down and shaken together and running over. And that's what we're doing in 2024, right? Mr. Ziegler always had the philosophy of be more, do more, and have mm-hmm. more, right? And so I just simply adopted that. And right, what better time than in 2024 to be more, do more, and have more, so we can give more, serve more, and help more. And that's what ASAP is doing, especially in this hailstorm. So if you find yourself needing a roof, if you find yourself needing something that they're able to do, don't hesitate to reach out, right? I've got them tagged. No, I think it's up there. I've got them tagged up there.
What do I do with my hands?
On the post. I've got them tagged on the post. So don't hesitate to reach out to Joseph. And one last thing. So you talked about this earlier. Can you share a success story or maybe an encounter with a client that is probably one of your most memorable stories that you shared, that you made a big impact or a big, I guess a big impact in their lives because of a roof?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a ton. Like it's kind of weird. Like sometimes I'll go out and I'll have people like crying to me, telling me their life stories, and it's like I don't know what I do to attract it. That's not a problem to me, but it's happened like several times throughout the course of this business. I think one of the ones that kind of struck me when I saw that question was, when several years back, we were up in Winsboro working, a big hailstorm came through, and one of the gentlemen we ended up helping, he was blind, and his roof had a ton of damage, and his insurance covered it. He didn't have a great policy, so he wasn't going to get the recoverable depreciation back. And he said he had the roof done a few years prior. And so, we're like, we're going to help this guy out. We're going to do the job. And then we go up there and we start tearing it off. And he ends up having 6 layers of shingles on his roof. And he was like, well, the last guy told me he tore everything off. We're like, well, I can promise you he didn't. So we ended up having to tear 6 layers of shingles off his roof, replace almost all the decking, you know, and it was just one of these things where the gentleman was so grateful that someone actually was honest that came out and didn't take advantage of his disadvantage. And it's just being able to help people in situations like that. And you talked about giving back. So one initiative that we're starting this year is every quarter we're going to donate a roof to, and it'll be a different category. So this first quarter, we're actually doing 2 roofs for Elijah's Retreat in Jacksonville, and they are a summer camp for kids with autism. And so it's a place where kids with autism can go. A lot of special, activities they have for their sensory deals. And so we've actually done 2 roofs for them in the past. And so this year they asked us to do another one. They're building another cabin because every time they open up their calendar, it books the whole summer up in like less than a day. So there's just a huge need for it. So they're continually building. So this first quarter, we're doing 2 roofs for them. We just did one last week. And then in the next few days, we're going to do the new construction one. And then every quarter it'll be a different category. So, one quarter it'll be someone that, served our country or, was a, police officer or something. And then the next one, it may be, someone with a disability that just can't afford it. And so every quarter we'll be donating a roof for some cause, and it'll change every quarter. So the first quarter we've already, spoken for that, and then next quarter we'll announce it and take nominations and see.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so it's gonna be on your Facebook page.
Yeah, we'll post it on our Facebook page and say, hey, this quarter we're donating a roof to a veteran. Can you nominate a veteran that is having roof issues? It's been something that's been on their mind and on their heart for a while, and they just couldn't afford to fix it. And then we'll pick someone from the list and go out and take care of the roof replacement.
Guys, does that sound like a roofing company you can stand behind? Absolutely. If you're watching this, if you're joining this, or if you're watching this on the replay, just hit like, hit a comment. What are some of the things that you wish you would have known? I've been kind of watching the comment section here just to make sure there weren't any questions that you guys come up. But if there's anything that comes up after the fact, I've got Joseph tagged on here. I've got ASAP Roofing tagged on there. So make sure you reach out to him if you have any questions, anything like that. I was going to go ahead and finish up, but you said something earlier that I think a lot of people don't know. You said something about the replacement cost value. So when somebody's getting a quote on their homeowner's insurance, what is it? What are the questions they need to be asking to make sure they get the right coverage?
Yeah, so I'm not an insurance agent, but just from dealing with thousands of insurance claims, you want to get a replacement cost policy. So that basically means that, say your roof is 10 years old, if you don't have a replacement cost policy, they're going to pay for the condition it's in today, and you're never going to get the depreciation back. So they depreciate your roof back every year, and so the value of it goes down. If you don't have a replacement cost policy, if you have an actual cash value, they're only going to pay you for, what the condition it is in today. And the difference in savings is normally, maybe a couple $100 a year, but I have claims right now where they didn't really know what that was, and they lost $10,000 in depreciation. How many years at $200 does it take you to make up for that $10,000 in depreciation when you really need to get the roof replaced? And then puts them in a predicament because now the insurance company says, well, if you don't replace the roof, we're going to drop you, and then you're not going to be able to get insurance. So I think that's the most important one. And then a lot of companies now are switching to different policies where they have something labeled a roof payment schedule. And essentially it's the same thing. It's just worded differently, where they depreciate the roof every few years, and that's less money they're going to give you if you ever need to replace it. So just understand those things. And when you're getting a policy, I know times are tough, and a couple $100 a year, is savings, but in the long run, it's most likely going to hurt you, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted you to share that because I learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
I did not have replacement costs, and so the insurance adjuster went out there and they did all that. So I wanted you guys to hear it, not for me, because I still have a little bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
So call your insurance person. Again, we're not insurance professionals. Call your insurance professional. Make sure that you have replacement
cost value, and RCV policy is what we call
RCV,
it. And
replacement cost
Value.
Value.
Yep.
Perfect.
And
Awesome.
They pay you for the total value of getting a new roof, not the condition it's in today.
Gotcha. Is there anything coming up that we need to be aware of ASAP? Promotions?
I mean, nothing crazy going on. I mean, it's been obviously a big start to the year, and so we are out here every day helping people. So if you need help, give us a call. And then obviously, like I said, I mentioned the donated roofs. So next quarter starts in a few weeks. So we'll announce the criteria for that. So keep an eye out for that. And then if you know somebody that fits the criteria, you can send us a message. You don't have to put it on our Facebook page, and you can keep it private and send us, and then we'll pick someone. So each quarter we'll do that.
Awesome. Well, Joseph, thank you so much for being on here. Hey guys, thank you so much for sharing this, for commenting on the post, for engaging. I want to leave you guys with this one fun fact about Joseph. Right? This is a fun fact. This is a surprise thing. All right, you ready? So a while back, I took a phone call from a individual, and they were calling me from California. Mm-hmm. And we got to talking. Great individual, great lady. We started having a really good, building a really good relationship. Called her, called back. And then she spoke Spanish, and we started talking Spanish, and then we started just carrying on this really nice conversation about her moving and selling and everything. And turned out that she says, "Well, my son lives out there," and I was like, "Really? What's his name?" Guess.
Yeah, I remember this text message. Like, I spoke with your mom today. I was like, "What? How did that happen?"
And she shared with me that you speak Spanish. Or that you understand Spanish.
Yes. No one really ever believes me, especially like our crews and stuff, and anytime we go on a trip to Mexico, I'm always I'm the guy that has to translate or speak to the taxi driver. So I'm not the best, but I definitely understand it. And as long as you speak slowly, we can have a conversation. Just don't rattle stuff off too fast.
And you have people that are bilingual on your staff.
Yes. So the lady who answers our phones is bilingual. We have several sales reps that are bilingual, repair techs. So yeah, definitely.
So si necesitan ayuda con sus techos, si lo tienen que reemplazar por la tormenta que pasó con todo el hielo que cayó, llámenle a Joseph, right? 903. Well, I'll let you give the phone number.
903-363-9160.
Awesome, guys. Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate you being on here, Joseph. Thank you so much, man.
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
you.
Thank you for coming by.
Hey, thank you for doing what you do, man.
Absolutely.
Hopefully some of you business owners took some notes and write down on some of the things that has helped them be successful, because really success leaves clues.
Yes, absolutely.
So hey guys, appreciate you guys. We'll see you on the next business spotlight, guys. Adios.